All right, so there you go, America. Let's get ready for the sizzle. All right, y'all. This your boy Charles Gregory, with the beautiful
Lauren Sizzle.
and the beautiful.
Classy Lady Sparkle.
All right, sizzle, give it to me early.
It is a sad day in the world of entertainment. The world is mourning the loss of two legends. The legendary founding father of rock and roll, Little Richard, has passed away at the age of 87. Some of Little Richard's hits include Tutti Frutti, Good Golly, Miss Molly, Long Tall Sally, which was later recorded by the Beatles, and Lucille, to name a few. Little Richard inspired so many artists. In an interview with Joan Rivers in 1989, Little Richard stated, Prince is the Little Richard of his generation. Then he turned and looked at the camera and said, I was wearing purple before you was wearing it. So I'm sure people probably remember that interview. His music brought people together. In another past interview with Rolling Stone, Little Richard said, Tutti Frutti really started the races being together. From the get-go, my music was accepted by whites. The legendary Jerry Lewis said in a statement, it is with a heavy heart that I ask for prayers for the family of my lifelong friend and fellow rocker, Little Richie. Little Richard, he will live on always in my heart with his amazing talent and his friendship. He was one of a kind, and I will miss him dearly. He has reportedly died of bone cancer, so rest in peace to Little Richard. And also, the entertainment industry, is also mourning the loss of legendary music executive Andre Harrell, who worked with Russell Management for Russell Simmons. And Andre founded Uptown Records in the late 1980s. He started his career as rapper Dr. Jekyll and half of the rap duo Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. They produced Genius Rap, and AM PM, and an album titled the Champagne of Rap. Andre Harrell was instrumental in bridging the gap between hip hop and R&B, and he gave Sean Diddy Combs his first break in his career, which led to Diddy becoming the hip hop music mogul that he is today. Andre also built the careers of some of music's greats, such as Mary J. Blige, I'll Be Sure, Jodeci, Guy, and many more. And among his many business ventures and successes, Andre co-founded Revolt with Diddy. So rest in peace to Andre Harrell and rest in peace to Little Richard.
Yes.
Two huge losses in the entertainment industry. Tekashi 6ix9ine, who was released early from federal prison on house arrest due to COVID-19, he got into it with Meek Mill. It began after Tekashi 6ix9ine started promoting a scheduled Instagram live on his social media. Following Tekashi promoting his live, Meek Mill tweeted, I hope that rat going live to apologize to the people he told on or to the victim. Y'all forget that fast a rat killed Nipsey. He wasn't supposed to be on the streets. That's the one thing I'ma say. Well, he spelled it D-A-Y, but I'm sure he meant say. That's the one thing I'ma say because he's dead. Left his baby mom and child like a coward as targets. Tekashi caught wind of Meek's tweets and commented, imagine having a newborn baby come into the world and be pressed about a Mexican with rainbow hair. So as you know, Meek Mill and Milano welcomed their baby boy on Meek's birthday, May 6th. Tekashi later started his Instagram live with the Bad Boys theme music playing in the background while he danced around with a pair of handcuffs. Then he bragged about his jewelry and having 2 million viewers on his Instagram live. Tekashi said, to try to S on me on a kid like me, to be like, yo, F that, he's a rat, to be like, yo, he ratted, to then a rat like me coming home and still doing more numbers than you, I would be mad too. If a rat came home and did more numbers than me, I would be mad too. So Tekashi in his Instagram live, he did go on to apologize to his fans during his live. He said, I want to say that I'm sorry to my fans because you know what? It wasn't worth it. It wasn't. Then he goes on to explain why he ratted. He said, I snitched, I ratted. But then he asks, who was I supposed to be loyal to? The people that was sleeping with my baby's mom and tried to kill me. And then he also had dropped his new single, and Meek tweeted about that, said basically saying it was trash. According to TMZ, Tekashi, who is not in the witness protection program, has already been relocated after his address was leaked. Tekashi took a picture on his balcony holding stacks of money. Meanwhile, a neighbor snapped a picture of him out on his balcony and posted it along with his address. So Tekashi's attorney, Lance Lazaro, said that in the light of his client's address being leaked, he has been relocated.
Wow,
So
that's a lot.
Yes, and he's only been home for a few short weeks, and he's already like, a lot of people were just, even Snoop weighed in on it, and he was like, he's a rat. Like, why are y'all promoting this rat, and why are y'all listening to his music? So it's just like,
Because the code's changed. I mean,
yes,
rat doesn't mean what it used to mean. Like,
exactly.
yeah, so it's like they don't, this generation or 6ix9ine generation don't get it. But I mean, one, I didn't know he admitted to being a rat, and he has a point. Like, who am I ratting on, or who I stay loyal to? But then I'm thinking that me, don't he got baby duty? Like, I mean, I know he ripping up with
No.
daddies and stuff, but I don't know. What you say,
No,
Z?
that don't have nothing to do with him weighing in on something, especially as it relates to how close he was with Nipsey, and Meek Mill had a point with it. That it was a rat who shot Nipsey Hussle, and so he uh, uh, has been involved in a situation that hit close to home. So Meek Mill is actually speaking on it. And these days we are in rat culture, so to speak, and it's going to take those real ones to stop acting like you're trying to be politically correct and start checking people. Like for real, like real talk, man. It's not like you can't talk about who am I supposed to be loyal or faithful to when you wasn't loyal and faithful that got you in there in the first place. So that's already off of the table, being loyal and faithful. You wasn't loyal and faithful when you were ordering hits. You wasn't loyal and faithful when you were watching people get robbed from the people who you were hanging with. You wasn't loyal and faithful when you was on every platform telling grown men to suck your dick. You wasn't loyal when you were really disrespectful to women. You wasn't loyal then. So I don't want to hear about him crying and whining about who am I supposed to be loyal to now. Nah, you should have thought about that before you went in there. So nope. And I give no. I'm good. I'm good.
So do you think this changes the game when it comes to like the street code and no snitching and all that?
Absolutely. I think that at least in this new generation, because how we grew up, we grew up differently. We grew up in an era where, you didn't do certain things, and it was crack on every block, on every corner, and we was hand to hand. It's not like that no more. So it's a completely different mind state. And I get it, and I'm not stuck in this time warp where everybody should be stuck where we were. No, it's not like that. So I get it. It's just something that, when we define what a rat is, we have to start taking accountability to if we got ourselves in these situations, you got to deal with that and hold yourself accountable. You can't, get caught in a situation and be like, oops, now I want to get out of it. So and point the finger at him. It doesn't
Hmm.
work like that. It doesn't
But
work like that.
But see, you're right, because the Black Panthers started the Black Code. Like, that was a real thing. It was a
Yeah,
law, just like they started WIC. It was something that they
right.
created, that you couldn't do women, children weren't involved. You
Yep,
couldn't
no
sell to
children, no
somebody's
kids.
mother. Yeah, so
That's right.
that was a real thing, like
That's
a
right.
real thing, but it's slowly dissipating now.
Yep, no children, no kids,
Mhm.
and that's why Malcolm X said the most. I forgot his quote, but the most. I guess he was saying something along the lines of black women. They're the most. that particular group of people are the people that you need to worry about most is being unprotected. So we have to start to step up and protect these our black women. And nowadays, people can say, "Oh, ratting is cool now. You're supposed to, all right, cool." But guess what else is coming up out of this culture? You got these boys beating up on women like they're men. That was a little different back then. I mean, you would hear the little domestics sometimes, and I don't want to take away from the survivors out there. It's a lot of women who went through some domestic abuse and a lot of different things. But now I remember growing up where, moms was like, you don't put your hands on women, you don't touch these little girls, you don't do nothing. But now you got these little boys beating up on little girls like it's nothing. Something that happened just in, I want to say, the Bronx. It was a group of like 15 boys who jumped a little girl and took her shoes. That happened. That would have never happened before, growing up in our era. It's just certain things we just would not have. We would have looked at her, yo, dude, that's a girl. Like, you don't do that. That's a little girl. Now it's cool, and I just, it's just something that I would never get. And hopefully, like my youngins, I could show them, like all the young boys that's around me, "Yo, what's up, boy? What's up, OG? Who respect me, like I still can show them, what I believe is, rearing of a man, and as we grew up, it was a saying that was like, don't blame him, don't blame the young boys, blame they old head, because they old head was supposed to teach the young boys how to come up. It ain't like that no more. So we just have to make sure that, we play our parts and do the things that we supposed to do. Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. Well, the one thing that I think, like the one way that I hope that like the street code changes as far as like, snitching is like some of these unsolved murders out here. Like that's when you need to be like standing up, like
Sure.
telling about stuff like that. Cause then you got like so many mothers that are like still can't sleep at night because they don't know like who murdered their child, or
Yeah.
that's the no snitching thing that I think we should
And,
kind of do away with.
and technically, that's not necessarily snitching, right?
No, it's
The
not right.
code of snitching is being caught in the commission of a crime. You and a friend, both of y'all was caught in the commission of a crime, but you want to get out of it. So you put everything on your friend. You're a rat.
Exactly.
You're a
They
snitch.
should talk to Lil Kim.
How about that? Shout out to Lil
Talk
Kim,
to
man.
Lil
That's my
Kim.
girl anyway, man. I love Lil
Yes,
Kim, man.
yes. Love Lil
Shout
Kim
out
to
to
death.
Lil Kim. No doubt. All right.
Exactly.
You got another story? Was
So
that what it says? Okay, you keep it go. Holla at me.
the Celebrity Sizzle Award of the Week goes to Gabrielle Union. She has once again stepped up to speak on behalf of our fellow Black actors, but particularly for those who are struggling to stay afloat during the COVID-19 pandemic. Hollywood productions have been shut down, which means subsequently Black Hollywood is shut down. Essence reports that in an Instagram live conversation with Victoria's Secret's model Saram Denise, she asked Gabrielle when Gabrielle asks about this, the Black Hollywood and the actors during COVID-19, Gabrielle said, for all of the Oprah Winfrey's and the people who have just a lot of money, most of us are 1 to 2 checks away from not having money to pay for all of our things. You know what I mean? So this stoppage of work and money is impacting marginalized celebrities the most. All of these influencers you see who seem to be everywhere, they may not have a lot of liquid income. You can't charge your rent. You have to pay your rent. And then following the interview, Gabrielle, after that portion of the interview kind of started circulating around, Gabrielle tweeted, the average SAG actor makes around $54K a year, while vast majority make less than $1,000 a year from acting work. If we just look at Black actors, those numbers go down even further. Let's keep talking. Share your stories. Every actor whose name you recognize started somewhere. So shout out to her for just acknowledging, the marginalized celebrities, those who you may see them on TV and may just assume like, oh, they're making all this money, but really they're like struggling to pay their rent. So shout out to her. She's of course she's cool right now because she's made a name for herself and she's married to D Wade, but she started somewhere, which she says I started somewhere too. So for her to get where she is and still remember those who may be struggling or shout out to her.
Yeah, shout out to Gab. I got a love-hate relationship with her. I'm not a huge fan of her, but I love her, man. Like she's dope to me for some reason. I can't really explain it. I just, she had a show which got, what was the name of that show she was on?
Being
She was
married.
America's Got
Being
Talent.
Mary Jane.
Oh, maybe Being Mary Jane.
Mary
You
Jane.
wanna not to cut you off, but you wanna do the legal ID?
Oh, I thought I did it. I guess we was late again. There you go. Well, check this out. Okay, you're listening to WPPM LP Philadelphia 106.5 FM, and this is We Talk Weekly's After the Talk with your boy Charles Gregory and a beautiful
Lauren Sizzle.
Classy Lady Sparkle.
We got Lady as Dot in the building holding us down. All right, Sizzle, holla at me.
Yeah, so you were just saying about Gabrielle Union.
Yeah, Gabrielle Union with I think it was Being Mary Jane.
Being Mary Jane.
Yeah, I really like that show. I think it got cut short or something for some reason. I can't remember why, but I actually used to watch that show.
I loved it.
Yeah, I like.
It was good. Yeah, I think some of her roles gave her like a bad rap, like and like I don't know. At first, I just kind of was like, "That's just she plays those roles too well. Like that's who she is." But then I think seeing her like doing other stuff and advocating for others, and then with her stepson Zaya, and then when she got kicked off of America's Got Talent, where she was being too Black, I guess, that I like her though.
I like her too. I think, but in her early years, she was that itch and she admitted to it. She did the Red Table Talk with Jada Pinkett Smith, and she said when she was coming into Hollywood how she was angry at certain women of the same race that were getting roles, and she wouldn't speak, and she just had a nasty disposition about herself. But she also acknowledges that she went through abusive relationships. There were toxic things that she was involved with that was spewing on the outside on her interactions with people. So you can't change what you don't acknowledge. So she acknowledged that, she had to change something about herself. And then also with the insecurity that she was, putting out in the universe. So she's evolved, she's grown, she's matured, and that's the best way to do it.
Yeah, well, maybe that's what it was. I was getting from her. It just seemed like that, Don't know what it was. I was like, wow, why she have to be, I think we and it's unfair of us who tend to, put our own on this pedestal and expect them to please everybody, right? That's something that we normally do. We put, especially our Black women, we put them on these pedestals and they have to be this picture of perfection, and when they don't, it's easy to say, see, I don't know what that is, but I'm that's my girl. Shout out to Gabby.
Well, I think for a lot of people, their experiences unfortunately shape them either in a negative way or a positive way. But yeah, that's sometimes instead of like looking at the surface of a person, I try to understand like what they've been through, what they're going through that made them who they are, instead of just like always like jumping to prejudge somebody. Because everybody has a story. Everybody has a background or something that they went through. Even like for men, it's some like, I know we say like bitter women, but it's some bitter men that have been through relationships and they vowed like that one girl broke their heart. Now they're going to treat every girl like she's a jump off or something like that, you know. But everybody has their little story and history.
And whatever they go through, it really must show, because there are people like Gabrielle who I used to couldn't stand and feel different about today. Because she was not one of my favorite people. And it was like anything she was in, because she was in it, I wasn't watching it. I just didn't support her. I didn't like her. I don't feel that way about her today. And then I have people that I used to love, and now I'm like, yeah, I'm good on you. So, and it could be because of some of those things that they've been through that have changed them. And, you know, if something has changed you for the better, great. If something has changed you for the worse, you might want to work on that.
Yeah, no doubt. A lady as I always think like me. I mean, I felt exactly like that. I just was like, I'm good. Like I don't, I'm alright. Hey, that's just me. Sorry.
Yeah.
But yeah, no doubt.
And I did start, you know, I started looking at Being Mary Jane, but Being Mary Jane, it was a popular show. Everybody was talking about it. And I remember, you know, just being home. You know how you have your shows that you watch, and then you have your things that you binge watch. And I was out of stuff to watch, you know. And I was like, what's going on with this Being Mary Jane? Everybody keeps talking about it. So I turned on season 1, episode 1, because I'm a person, I can't watch stuff in the middle. I have to watch it from the beginning. And episode 1, I seen Omari Hardwick, so I was sold.
Yes, anything he's in.
I know. Everybody tell me he was in it. You know, season 1, episode 1, it was Omari Hardwick naked. So I just listened.
You ain't gotta tell you again.
I was just like, so, you know, me and her formed a bond after that, you know.
Yes.
Because it goes.
It's a lot of actors and actresses out here that have like either gotten like shade or disliked because of it. They portrayed that character so well that like people don't like them. Remember Mister in Color Purple. How many people couldn't stand Danny Glover because he played that character so well?
Yeah, I think he's
and we talked to him. Remember, we talked to him. He's so cool and down to earth. Like I literally can listen to him all day long.
Yeah, me and Lauren and I had the opportunity to have that I can't even. I don't want to say that, man. He's like
legend.
I mean, he's a legend.
I remember that day.
And when he's in your presence, it just feels like so awkward, so overwhelming, especially because how humble and how down to earth he is. And then I was just like, wow, I'm standing right next to him. I'm talking to him. He's just like dropping jewels. And I was just like, wow. So shout out to Danny Glover, man. I think you're right, Sizzle, when as it relates to people who play their roles so well that sometimes they get typecasted. Because even what's his name, Lawrence Tate, for so long he couldn't play another role. All you kept thinking about was Old Dog.
Yes.
That's all you thought about. And so him, because he played it so well, you was like, whoa, I can't see him in another role. He will always be Old
And
Dog.
I didn't even want to see him in another role.
Yeah.
That's the great part. I didn't want to see him. I was like, where is he at? Put that same guy in something else. But you know what I mean? But that's a character.
That's a character. And
but the problem with being typecast like that is Charles, he played it, like you said, he played it so well. He played it so well that people start to think that that's who he was and felt that he couldn't do. They felt he couldn't do anything else. They felt he couldn't play anything else. They felt like, no, this is you. And so, but that's not him at all. But he did a great job. But it was like his breakout role. It was like, I mean, he had done other stuff, but that was like the breakout role. After that, everybody wanted to know who he was. He was household name after that, but he had a hard time getting something different after that. You know, because then you saw him there, and then you saw him in Dead President. You know, so trying to get some of the more sophisticated roles, people weren't leaning to him.
Yeah, I mean, even some of the greats, they get typecasted, and like think of like Morgan Freeman. Every time you see him, he's playing like the role of maybe like a general, or like he had the one where he was like the president. He's playing like, which isn't a bad thing, he's playing
Thank
these
God.
prominent roles. I know, right? I know. But I
It's
think
my
that
nerve.
unfortunately Taraji is kind of typecast as it relates to some of the roles that she get. All her roles is pretty much similar,
Outta here.
But this is what it is, If you don't leave that cat alone,
She
Yeah,
gets
yeah.
on my nerves so bad.
the cat wants some airtime.
Always put her
That's
on
why
Hollywood, put her on set, make me some money.
Yeah, that's why we had this platform, because people who need and animals who need a platform. No doubt.
Listen,
But then,
Lauren, you can't be seen on the air throwing cats around like that. You know, George Carlin is in jail right now for that.
I know,
They gonna be in
they got a documentary. I think it's called "Don't Mess with Cats" or something like that.
Oh
Yeah,
don't kill cats or something.
Mhm.
No, it's called Don't F with Cats.
Yeah, don't F with Cats.
Right.
Oh, Don't F with Cats.
Yeah,
And then
it's on Netflix.
and it's on Netflix right next to the Tiger King. So Lauren, you better chill over there.
Yeah, but I was gonna say Lawrence Fishburne, he's another one after that. What's Love Got to Do with It? People couldn't stand him.
Yeah.
Remember that?
Yeah. He has a huge range though. He's one of those, because after the Matrix, I mean, I would have never thought I would
He
see
does.
him in a movie like the
Yeah,
Matrix.
but he's a great actor.
He's a great
Yes,
actor,
he is.
yeah.
His range, he does have a wide range. I want to say, you have that thing where you have people who play in roles, and because they're so good at playing a villain, you start to dislike them. But I actually have my favorite all-time villain, which is Ed Norton. I love him. He's always playing the bad guy. He's always playing some crazy dude. But I love him. I think he's awesome. And I never want to see him play a good character. Keep him doing the crazy stuff he's doing. I love him doing it.
Yeah, I think his breakout role. I think his breakout role with American History X.
Primal Fear. I thought it was Primal Fear.
Primal Fear. You're right.
Richard Gere.
Yeah.
That's right.
I think Leon is typecast too.
After that. Yeah, that's because he won't change his name.
He Leon and everything from the
that's his real name, and that's his character name and everything he plays. And he wants you to know he's Leon.
You know who I love in a villain role? Denzel from Training Day. Remember Training Day?
I hated him playing a villain role. He did so good.
That was the only one. Yes.
He did so good, but I love him in like
Equalizer,
and
that's how I'm used to seeing him.
Yeah, I like him playing. What was the other one? Kind of like I Am Legend. What's the one?
I know what you're talking about. Eli, the book of
Eli. The book of Eli. That was a good. I love him playing movies like that. I mean, it's such a, for him to play this under kind of like pseudo hero, action hero. I like him doing that. That's dope. Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah, that was the sizzle.
What's up, you guys? It's your girl Lauren Sizzle and Classy Lady Sparkle. And have you subscribed to our channel yet? If the answer is no, you need to subscribe now.
Yeah, so stop what you're doing. Go right now and subscribe. We like you. You like us. So go ahead and subscribe.
Come on over. Be a part of the family of We Talk Weekly and subscribe to our YouTube channel.
So what are you waiting for?
Subscribe now.